There's only one. That is by Gunanuvada Shravanam Murari. When one gives the oral reception of hearing, simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name form of the personality of Goddess Sri Krishna, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord? Kim va punastak charanarvindam paraga seva ratiratmalabdhanam. Paraga seva is serving the lotus feet. Paraga is service of the flavorful dust. Wow. And rati is attraction. Two different methods for controlling the material senses are recommended in the Vedic scriptural wisdom. One of them is the process of Gyan, or the path of philosophical understanding of the Supreme Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. The other is that of direct engagement into the transcendental loving devotional service of the Lord. Of the two most popular methods, the path of devotional service is recommended here as the best, because on the path of devotional service, one does not have to wait for the attainment of the fruitive results of pious activities or for the results of knowledge. The two stages of executing devotional service are: first, the stage of practicing devotional service with our present senses under the regulations of the recognized scriptures, and second, attaining sincere attachment for serving the particles of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. The first stage is called the sadhana bhakti, or devotional service for the neophytes, which is rendered under the direction of a pure devotee. And the second stage is called raga bhakti, in which the mature devotee automatically takes to the various services of the Lord out of sincere attachment. The great sage Maitreya now gives the final answer to all the question of Vidra's devotional service to the Lord is the ultimate means for mitigating all of measurable conditions of material existence. The path of knowledge, or that of mystic gymnastics, may be adopted as the mean for achieving that purpose. But unless mixed with bhakti or devotional service, they are unable to avoid the desired result. By practicing sadhana bhakti, one may gradually rise to the point of raga bhakti. And by performing raga bhakti in loving transcendental service, one can even control the supreme power. Please memorize this verse. Very beautiful verse. Ashish Shanklesh Samam Vidhate Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare Kim va punastak charanaravinda Parag seva ratiratmalabha. Recite. Who will recite? Next. Quickly. Unmute and recite.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Go ahead.
अशेष संक्लेशमं विधाते गुणानुवादा सर्वनं मुरारे किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्दा पराग सेवारतिरात्मलब्धा।
Good. Where were you yesterday? On Paramekadi, you keep this tendency of missing in between. कहाँ चले गए थे भाई? थे तो कहाँ थे शाम को 8:30 बजे?
कल तो दीदी आई थी तो उनके साथ परिक्रमा लगाने गए तो लेट हो गया।
राउंड कितने चैंट किए? कल तो 150 कर लिए, कितने किए परिक्रमा करते करते?
32 किया।
क्या बात है! परिक्रमा लगाया तो 4 घंटे नहीं लगे तुमको परिक्रमा लगाने में?
तो वृंदावन का किया था और अम्मुआ को गोद लेके मुझे रहना पड़ा, ये चल नहीं पा रही।
मत करो यार ये सब गर्मी में, परिक्रमा क्यों मत करो, डिहाइड्रेशन का बहुत चांस है, बहुत गर्मी है। यहाँ तो कल रात में बारिश हो गई, वहां बारिश हुई है क्या?
ये शो हुआ था।
अमोहा का वीडियो क्यों नहीं आया अभी तक 15 चैप्टर का? ये इससे खत्म होने से पहले भेज दो, पुरुषोत्तम मास के पहले, वो 2 ही दिन बचे हैं।
ठीक है।
याद कर रही है?
ये शो।
Okay. प्रियांशी,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा, रिसाइट द वर्ड्स।
अशेष संक्लेश समं विधाते गुणानुवादा श्रवणं मुरारे किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्द पराग सेवारतिरात्मलब्धा।
वेरी स्पेशल, यू आर गिफ्टेड। कुछ ही समय में आपको संस्कृत आ जाएगी, जस्ट वर्ड मीनिंग जरूर ध्यान दियो, हर वर्ड का मीनिंग जरूर पढ़ो, चाहे कुछ भी पढ़ रही हो आप, चाहे गीता, चाहे भागवतम, whatever, just focus on word meaning, very quickly you will get know-how of Sanskrit. और किसी को याद नहीं करना है क्या? खाली मुझे ही याद करना है? नहीं चाहिए अशेष संक्लेश समम विधाते, तो फिर भोगो, फिर मुझे क्या जरूरत है, जो
हरे
मर्जी
कृष्ण प्रभु।
करो।
अशेष संक्लेश समं विधाते गुणानुवाद श्रवणं मुरारे किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्द पराग सेवा रतिरात्मलब्धा।
जब भी मन सताए, समस्या आए, तो ये श्लोक दोहराए, याद करें, हाँ? भाग जाएगी समस्या। ओके, बाकी लोग सोते नहीं, जाने दो। आई एम गोइंग टू नेक्स्ट। विदुरा उवाच संशिन्ना संशयो मह्यम तवासक्ता शीना विभो उभयत्रापि भगवान् मनो में संप्रधावति। Vidura said, "O powerful sage, my lord, all my doubts about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities have now been removed by your convincing words. My mind is now perfectly entering into them." The science of Krishna or the science of God and the living entities is so subtle that even a personality like Vidura has to consult person like this sage Maitreya. Please hear very attentively. Very important principle. Doubts about the eternal relationship of the Lord and the living entities are created by mental speculators in different ways. But the conclusive fact is that the relationship of God and the living entity is one of the predominator and the predominated. Who will explain this statement? That the eternal relationship of the Lord with the living entity is like a predominator and the predominated. Who will explain? Bolo Ramya. Where do you find this statement, predominator and predominated before? Correct.
हम पाकम एवाग्रे वाला श्लोक में 2.35 जो फास्ट है भागवतम चतुर्थ श्लोक की भागवतम का फास्ट श्लोक के पर्पट में श्रील प्रभुपाद ये प्रिडोमिनेटेड आई प्रेडोमिनेटर आई के थ्योरी के विषय में बताते हैं प्रभु जी कि हाउ लॉर्ड द प्रिडोमिनेटेड आई प्रिडोमिनेटर आई।
How is the predominator?
He is the predominator I because he is the creator of the secondary creator Brahma. So he is always predominator, and we all are predominated by him.
Very good. So what it means? That he is a predominator and we are the predominated?
He is the controller and we all are actually controlled by the material nature and he is the master of material nature. So in that way, we are controlled by him.
Supreme control. Very good. Excellent answer. We also received this concept in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. That Krishna is the predominator and the living entities are predominated. So the living entities have to become the cooperator in cooperating the predominator by the predominated. We have to serve. Okay, very good. This is excellent memory. Krishna says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam. When Krishna is pleased by our devotional service, he will give us what? He will give us knowledge, he will reveal the knowledge, and he will always give us memory to remember him. Simple. As simple and as straight as that. Someone says, yaad nahi rehta hai, that means what? Weak. His service and sadhana both are weak. The Lord is the eternal predominator and the living entities are eternally predominated. Real knowledge of this relationship entails reviving the lost consciousness to this standard. And the process for such revival is devotional service to the Lord. By gaining a clear understanding from authorities like Sage Maitreya, one can become situated in real knowledge. And the disturbed mind thus be fixed on the progressive path. Sadhueta viharatam vidvan natma mayayanam hare abhati apaharatam nirmulam vishwamulam nayadbahi. O learned sage, says Sadhueta, your explanations are very good, as they should be. Disturbance of the conditioned soul have no other basis than the movement of the external energy of the Lord. Abhati apaharatam nirmulam vishwamulam nayat bahi. The living entity's unlawful desire to become one with the Lord in every respect is the root of the entire material manifestation. For otherwise, the Lord has no need to create such a manifestation even for his pastimes. The conditioned soul under the spell of external energy of the Lord falsely suffers many unfortunate incidents in material life. The conditioned soul under the spell of external energy of the Lord falsely suffers many unfortunate incidents in material life. The Lord is the predominator of the external energy Maya, whereas the living entity is predominated by the same Maya under the material condition. Very good memory, Ramya. Exactly this is what is being told. The false attempt of the living entity to occupy the predominating post of the Lord is the cause of his material conflict. And the conditioned soul's attempt to become one with the Lord is the last layer of Maya. Krishna bhuliya jeev, bhogavansha kare, nikataste Maya, chhapatiya dhan. Yastu muda tamoloke, yacha buddhe param gata, tau bhao sukam dhete, Lishyati antarito jana. Both the lowest of the fool, murhatama, and one is yastu murhatama loke and yascha buddha param gata, and the other is the most intelligent, and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoy happiness, whereas persons between them suffers the material pain. If that was so, the most foolish is the most intelligent. The lowest of the fools do not understand material miseries. They pass their life merrily and do not inquire into the miseries of life. Such persons are almost on the levels of animals, who, although in the eyes of superior are always miserable in life, are unaware of material distress. Example, a hog life is degraded in its standard of happiness, which entails living in a filthy place, engaging in sex enjoyment at every opportune moment, and laboring hard in a struggle for existence. But this is unknown to the hog. Similarly, human beings who are unaware of the miseries of material existence, are happy in sex life and hard labor, are the lowest of fools. Yet, because they have no sense of miseries, they supposedly enjoy so-called happiness. The other class of men, those who are liberated and are situated in the transcendental position of intelligence, are really happy, are called Paramhansas. But persons who are neither like hogs and dogs, nor on the level of Paramhamsas, feel the material pangs. And for them, inquiry about the supreme truth is necessary. The Vedanta Sutra says, Athato Brahma Jigyasaha. Now one should inquire about Brahman. This inquiry is necessary for those who are between the Paramahansas and the fools who have forgotten the question of self-realization in the midst of life in self-gratification. Artha bhavam vinishchitya pratitasya pinatmana tam chapi yushma charan sevaya aham paranude. But my dear sir, I am obliged to you because now I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance. Although it appears real, I am confident that by serving your lotus feet, I will be able to give up the false idea. Vidur speaking to Maitreya. I am confident that by serving your lotus feet, I will be able to give up the false idea. The sufferings of the conditioned souls are superficial and have no intrinsic value. Like the cutting off of one's head in a dream. Prabhupada gives this example so many times. You are aware of this? Cutting off of one's head in a dream. Yet, although this statement is theoretically true, it is very difficult for the common man or the neophyte on the transcendental path to realize practically. See, Prabhupada is giving this very confidential message. He is saying, it is very difficult for a common man or a neophyte on the transcendental path to realize practically. However, by serving the feet of great transcendentalists like Maitreya Muni, and by constantly associating with them, one is able to give up the false idea that the soul suffers material pangs. Yat sevaya bhagavata kutastasya madhudvisha ratiraso bhavet tivra padalayor vyasanardhana. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is able to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon and whose service vanquishes one material distresses. So Bhagavatam is revealing very confidential subject now. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, Yat sevaya bhagavata putasthaya madhu dvisha asur rati rasaha bhavet tivra padayo vyasana ardhana. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is able to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, not otherwise. who is unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses. The association of a bona fide spiritual master like the sage Maitreya can be of absolute help in achieving transcendental attachment for the direct service of the Lord. The Lord is the enemy of Madhu demon, or in other words, he is the enemy of the suffering of his pure devotee. The word Rati Rasaha is significant in this verse. Service to the Lord is rendered in different transcendental mellows, relationships, neutral, active, friendly, parental, and nuptial. A living entity in the liberated position of transcendental service to the Lord becomes attracted to one of the above mentioned mellows when one is engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord. One's service attachment in the material world is automatically vanquished, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Raso Varjam Raso Apiyasya Param Krishnan. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Very beautiful verses and very deep discussion. Samam Vidate Asesa Shanklesh Samam Vidate Gunanuvada Shravanam Murari Kimva Punastak Charana Ravinda Parag Seva Ratiradhala. Everyone memorize. Tomorrow I will ask each one of you. And I will not accept that you have not memorized. You have almost 23 hours to memorize 4 lines. सुन रही है ना मानिनी? 24 घंटे में 4 लाइन नहीं याद हुआ तो फिर तो क्या कहना है? हाँ? फिर तो अज्ञानता ही हमारा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है. उसमें नहीं रहना. Okay, anyone has any question? Any discussion? Jai Shashank.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, in the text number 14, serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet is coming up.
This
Prabhuji.
Parag Seva. Parag Seva Ratir Atmalabdha. You don't know that the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord has a very special flavor of the dust. You want to hear this? Okay, I'll show you. It is in the 4th canto, where the Kumaras are meeting Prithvi Maharaj. It is which flavor you know? The dust. Okay. This comes in Lord Vishnu appears in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. Sauttam shloka mahan mukhya chuttaha havat padam bhuja sudha kana anilaha smritir punar vismrita tattva vartamana uyoginam va vitarayati alambarahe. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by the great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like the saffron particles. ध्यान से सुनना, ठीक है? You should not be a foolish person, be able to assimilate and understand. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, फ्लेवर पूछ रहे थे ना, क्या फ्लेवर है? अनम्यूट करो।
सैफरन कुछ सैफरन।
कहाँ से आता है फ्लेवर? रम्या को समझ में आएगा, तुम्हारी समझ में इतनी जल्दी तो घुसेगा नहीं। बोलो रम्या।
लॉर्ड्स माउथ से प्रभु जी, जब वो वेदा
नो,
पढ़ते हैं।
क्या बोल रही हो? When the transcendental vibration from the mouth of great devotees is उत्तम श्लोक है ना, so who will glorify the Lord? The Lord will himself glorify himself. हाँ, तुम दोनों के दोनों अनाड़ी हो। ठीक से सुनो। Oh my Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. अब तुमने इतना गूढ़ प्रश्न पूछा है तो मैं बता रहा हूँ, समझ सकते हो तो समझ लो। Sir, glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouth of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entities gradually remember his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction, but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotees. दोनों वर्स बहुत ही विशेष हैं. This is one of the most beautiful verse of entire Srimad Bhagavatam. It is explained in the previous verse that one has to hear glorification of the Lord from the mouth of a pure devotee. It is further explained here. The transcendental vibration from the mouth of a pure devotee is so powerful that it can revive the living entity's memory of his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. बाकी कुछ नहीं होगा. In our material existence, under the influence of illusory Maya, we have almost forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord, exactly like a man sleeping very deeply who forgets his duty. In the Vedas, it is said that every one of us is sleeping under the influence of Maya. We must get up from this slumber and engage in right service, for thus we can properly utilize the facility of this human form of life. As expressed in a song by Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Lord Chaitanya says, Jeev jago, Jeev jago. The Lord asks every sleeping living entity to get up and engage in devotional service so that his mission in this human form of life may be fulfilled. This awakening voice comes through the mouth of a pure devotee. A pure devotee always engages in the service of the Lord, taking shelter of his lotus feet, and therefore he has a direct connection with the saffron mercy particles that are strewn over the lotus feet of the Lord. Although when a pure devotee speaks, the articulation of his voice may resemble the sound of this material sky, the voice is spiritually very powerful because it touches the particles of saffron dust on the lotus feet of the Lord. As soon as a sleeping living entity hears the powerful voice emanating from the mouth of a pure devotee, he immediately remembers his eternal relationship with the Lord, although up until that moment he had forgotten it. For a conditioned soul, therefore, it is very important to hear from the mouth of a pure devotee. He is fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord without any material desire, speculative knowledge, or contamination of the modes of material nature. Every one of us is a ku-yogi because we have engaged in the service of the material world, forgetting our eternal relationship with the Lord as his eternal loving servants. It is our duty to rise from the ku-yoga platform to become a su-yogis, perfect mystics. The process of hearing from a pure devotee is recommended in all Vedic scriptures, especially by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One may stay in his position of life. It does not matter what it is, but if one hears from the mouth of a pure devotee, he gradually comes to the understanding of his relationship with the Lord and thus engages in his loving service, and his life becomes completely perfect. Therefore, this process of hearing from the mouth of a pure devotee is very important for making progress in the life of spiritual understanding. Hare Krishna. Today we were discussing 6.35. Krishna gives what is the remedy for a mad mind. Exactly the same. I discussed 3 verses from 11th Canto. And today also these verses are coming. I was telling the boys that if you don't take one prasadam meal, your Atma will not leave your sharir. It will not leave your sharir. But if you don't hear, then your mind is going to kill you. And every life we have surrendered to our bad mind. Our master remains our yogi mind. So in this life, don't allow the mind to dictate. We read those verses. Practice is sure for a rigid practitioner. What we have to do, abhyas? Abhyas is to hear the transcendental sound. We are directly hearing from the most purest devotee, that is Srila Prabhupada. We are hearing his words. We are not hearing from anyone else. But don't miss. You are hearing Purushottam. You tell me any 10 days you have consecutively heard so far. You have not been able to. What Shastra is speaking, what these great personalities are speaking, our heart is not able to accept that. It should be fixed. I was feeling so tired, I was not having any strength. And somehow I got strength and I said, okay, let me at least read 2 verses. And now you see, all the exhaustion is over. Almost every day it is like that. You know, in the evening I am completely exhausted. Many times I sleep also, I cannot even read. Because I wake up so early, an entire day busy, very, very busy. I'm having a very big group. For me to carry forward 50 people in a class strength is very big ask. Because I force everyone to put attention and read purports and try to get into what Srila Prabhupada is giving, like here. Small group is okay, good. For a big group, it takes a lot of strength and energy. And for last 5 days, repeatedly 1 to 5. Today also I could not complete. I will extend tomorrow. I have given them 2 hours tomorrow to complete. You see, please note these 2 verses, what we have discussed today. What is this verse number which I showed you? पुरुषोत्तम कौन सा वर्ष नंबर है जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया?
11, 20, 25.
हाँ
11, 20, 25.
11 कहाँ से आ गया भैया? पृथ्वी महाराज का प्रश्न बता रहा हूँ, तो 11 कहाँ से आ गया? कौन सा वर्ष था प्रदीप? Which verse did I discuss? नहीं नोट किया, बता। ये हाल है। जब अमृत निकलता है तो छाता लगा दो, ताकि तुम्हारे ऊपर छींटा आ ना जाए किसी भी तरीके से। बताओ माननीय माता जी, कौन सा वर्ष था?
4:20:25
हाँ
4:20:25
जोर से बोलिए ना, समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
4:20:25 प्रभु जी।
4:20:25।
हाँ
हाँ 4:20:25 है। प्रदीप तो बोला ही नहीं, बोला मुख खोलोगा तो फंसूंगा, बोलो ही मत, रिमेन साइलेंट। हाँ ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये मैंने तो नहीं किया, अपने आप कहाँ से आ गया ये? गजब है। लेकिन टुडे आई हैड वेरी वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस of speaking Bhagavad Gita, and believe me, the same experience has come by you are asking this question. This verse is very very important. Maybe अभी हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, हाँ, but you see the entire process of bhakti is Paripat, Pariprashn and Sevaya. You see how Vidurji is offering respects to Maitreya Muni. Although Vidur is more closer to Krishna as compared to Maitreya, so is Uddhav. But what deep respect they are offering to Maitreya, because he is sharing the knowledge. So they will receive knowledge. And others who are having any reservation, access is not possible. They cannot receive it. Okay, I will end here because it is getting late. All of you should sleep by 9:30 and no one should wake up after 4. आधे से ज्यादा लोग तो भेजते नहीं है अपना साधना कार्ड. जो साधना कार्ड नहीं भेज रहा है इसका मतलब है वो 0 है. सीधी बात है. जो साधना कार्ड भेज रहा है अगर वो फेल भी हो रहा है तो भी पास हो जाएगा. Because this is how spiritual life works. Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.